If you're commiserating, don't worry, because we'll all be feeling better off next year. That's right, according to the Prime Minister, at least, who says he passionately believes he can bring down inflation and revive economic growth. Rishi Sunak has pledged to tame rising prices by maintaining discipline on public spending and taxes. He claims he's really optimistic about the future, and he's confident that inflation will fall enough to ease the cost of living crisis next year. Feeling cheerier now? Don't get too comfortable. Here comes the discipline, because Sunak has ordered bosses to only give pay rises to workers as a reward for success. Bad news for the public sector. He insists salary boosts must solely be offered if employees hit their targets rather than just blowing cash. Well, that's the government gone. His warning shot comes after inflation cooled to 6.8% in the 12 months to July, down from 7.9%, the biggest fall for 3 decades. I mean, I don't care how passionately he believes that inflation is going to come down. I mean, it sounds like some kind of weird witchcraft, doesn't it? I passionately believe that inflation will come down. You know, rub the genie's head 3 times and see if it gets down to about 3%. You know, why doesn't he just fire Andrew Bailey from the Bank of England and get somebody who knows what he's doing? Also, I don't care that he's optimistic about the future, because he's the only person that is.
Of course,
nobody else is optimistic.
And
he's just come back, I presume he's just come back from his holidays in Santa Monica, where there are more homeless people than there are people living in, some small towns in Britain. I don't know what he's got to be optimistic about. Certainly not his job, certainly not the economy, and certainly not the Tory Party's future.
No.
So he's either a delusional idiot or he's been given some kind of mind-altering substance while he was in Los Angeles. Maybe he's run into Megan and she's given him one of those stress mushrooms or something, you know. But he's clearly lost his rocker. Yeah. He's off his rocker, isn't he?
I think he is off his rocker in the sense that he had so many options to put things right. So the levers of government shouldn't just be left, as you say, to the incompetent governor of the Bank of England, Andrew Bailey, to muck around with interest rates when we've got a price shock pushing inflation. It's not even demand-led. If it was demand-led, if we were all buying too much stuff and that was the problem, that was causing inflation, then fine. OK, you use interest rates to dampen it. You don't use interest rates to dampen this kind of inflation. And the second thing is that if he really wants to grow the economy, if he really wants to put money in people's pockets, first of all, he shouldn't be telling private companies how they should pay their staff.
No.
And secondly, he should be focusing on the levers of government and wondering where the money that we all give him via our tax is being spent, and also making sure that he makes it easier for businesses to invest, people to bring their money and their business to this country, and to give incentive. Where is all of that? Well, it should be in the Conservative DNA. And it's like we've got some weird Prime Minister who doesn't understand his Conservative roots. And then you've got the opposition. They've got an open goal, missing it every time.
Well, it's good that you bring up tax, because this is how tone-deaf he is. Him saying that, we'll all be better off next year. Actually, most people are going to get dragged into a higher tax band because of fiscal drag, because of inflation. And him saying, employers should only give pay rises to employees based on their work. Well, yes, technically that makes sense, but most employers are offering employees pay rises so they can live, so they can exist, so they can go to work, to ease some of the burdens of the increasing cost of living.
And keep their staff.
Well, yes, exactly. And this is the issue. Where is the incentive to actually, promote business and grow the economy and all of that? I mean, we're facing the highest tax burden in, 50 years?
70 years.
Well, that's the joke about the comments he made. He's going to be disciplined on inflation. I don't really believe he controls inflation. He might be the bloke in charge when it goes down, because it is going down a bit. But it's not down to some kind of Sunakian economics.
He didn't cause it, and he didn't.
Where he sat there with a big abacus and a spreadsheet at night, going, "I think I've worked it out." And then suddenly it all comes down.
And also, he keeps giving loads of public sector pay rises.
Well, also, public sector
not really helping inflation.
Exactly, and tax. I mean, how dare he mention tax when we are the most taxed since Hector was a pup? We've been taxing away. The Tory Party have been taxing away like it's nobody's business. The highest tax burden, as Esther said. In what, ever?
70 years.
70 years. I mean, this is crazy.
And what's he going to do? Is he going to change his own wages according to his own success? Because how many of those 5 pledges that he promised us has he been successful with so far?
None, I think.
None of them.
None.
One of which is inflation in and of itself.
Exactly right.
So if he was...
But also government itself and public sector, particularly civil service work, is about as unsuccessful as you can get. The Home Office doesn't work, Foreign Office doesn't work. The departments of defence and health
MPs not
don't
even
work.
bothering to turn up.
No, I mean, it's the whole thing is an absolute crash of
I mean, you'd have
limitless
thought,
proportions.
because we all know, how it works. An advisor would have said, look, you've got to, because you can't go on telly and go, it's rubbish, the economy is
It's going to get a lot
terrible.
worse.
It's going to get so much worse. You've got a horror show coming your way, right over the hills. It's going to be carnage. So he's got to obviously throw out some positivity. But, when he was told that, he would have looked at his script and his advisors. And
But as Prime Minister, he needs to.
But
As
wouldn't
Prime
he have-
Minister, he needs to show leadership and also have a vision.
But
there's none of it.
But wouldn't he have said
A vision,
at one
not an
point-
illusion.
Wouldn't he have
Yeah.
refused to read the words?
But couldn't
though,
he
and said,
say, if he
I
was-
can't say this.
But if
with
he
a
wanted to
straight-
make a point, surely he could have said, but things are going to get better, and here's why. Because as of November, I'm going to give you 5% off your income tax or something.
Yeah.
And that's
Right,
why it's
well,
going to
which
get
is-
better.
yeah.
But he's not giving us anything. Nothing at all.
Nothing
Yeah.
at all. I just
In fact,
find
the very
it
opposite.
very bizarre that a billionaire can tell anyone that they're
He's
gonna,
not a billionaire.
They're going to
His
be.
wife is. He married very
but-
well.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
but
is.
You can't
yes.
judge him on his in-laws' wages.
that's a whole.
Absolutely.
No, I
other
think that's
debate.
a-
But
I think
somebody
that's a-
who has
That's a distraction.
somebody who has access
He's
to
independently
$1 billion.
wealthy.
Who said
Would
she's
you
gonna
rather
get
your
that
would you accept?
That's not very feminist
you're
of you,
not,
Nicola.
You're not a billionaire, but your partner is a billionaire. You've got access to $1 billion.
Who said so?
Yeah,
That's
but
not
I-
very feminist.
But does that mean
Why
then...
is that not? Can we
no,
not get into another debate, please?
No, I'm
Because
sorry.
we
Listen,
need
if I swung that
to
way, I would
move
marry a very
on.
rich
And
woman.
coming up,
Yes.
thanks, Esther.